Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in again to another episode on my new channel. uh, on my new channel, Focus on Fun, which is all about fun ways to practice self-care, self-love, especially for my single mom. Shout out. And that does include travel. So my guest today is another fellow pet sitter who solo travels through pet sitting. She is also a single mom. Help me welcome Miss Malika, also known as the Money Coach Malika.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hi, Queen. How are
Thank-
you?
Good, good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to come on and talk with us.
My
Okay,
pleasure. Mhm.
I am super excited to talk to Malika because, like I said, she's a single mom like me.
Yes.
I'll let her tell you that story. Um, and she is solo traveling through pet sitting, also like me. But
Yes.
unlike me, I believe I'm an empty nester. I don't think she's an empty nester yet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay, so yeah, we have all that in common. So, all right, great. Definitely. Okay, so Malika, tell us how you started solo traveling and pet sitting. Which one came first? Did the solo travel lead to the pet sitting or vice versa? Tell us how that all began for you.
I've been a solo traveler for a long time, well over 10, probably 15 years. So I've always solo traveled before I even knew what house sitting was. So
Hmm.
travel is just part of my life. I discovered house sitting. Um, Actually, no. I was a pet owner myself. And I used to hire pet walkers. So I knew there were services provided for pet
Hmm.
owners, but I had never been on the provider end. I was on the
Hmm.
receiver end. But I discovered house sitting when I saw a video from Stephanie Perry.
Very, uh-huh.
And even then, it wasn't something that I was interested in doing. So I was like, staying in strangers' houses? Right? And the more she talked about it, the more I watched her videos, I started thinking, hmm, well, it's kind of like Airbnb, right? Maybe it's not so bad. And then I just started Googling, to learn more about it. And
Hmm.
I decided to try it out. And that's how I kind of meshed the two.
I thought of it the same way as it's like an Airbnb, but I get the whole place to myself.
Well, I've never shared a place on Airbnb before.
I've done it. Yeah, I've done it a couple of times. So
Okay, I don't do shared spaces, but
yeah.
it's very similar to Airbnb. But I think house sitting is better for two reasons. Number one, both the homeowner and the house sitter have had background checks.
Hmm.
So it gives that extra level of safety
Security. Yeah,
and
yeah.
security. Yeah. And then also, number two, although you do the search and you pick the house you want, it's free when you're house
Yeah.
sitting.
Yes, right. Right. All you got to do is get there.
Right. So
All you got to do
it's
is
the
get
same
there.
concept as Airbnb. You got to get there too. You're
Right.
using Airbnb as accommodations when you travel.
Hmm.
I use house sitting as accommodations when I'm already traveling. It's not something I do as a job, although some people do it as a job.
Hmm.
I just use it as travel accommodations when I'm planning a trip anyway.
Yeah. Right now, I am actually doing it as a job. I do it full time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I love that. I love being able to move around and just stay in different places, experience different places. Oh yeah, I want to try this state. Oh yeah, I want to go to this area. Oh, there's an event going over here, so I'm gonna find a pet sit for that. And oh, there's a graduation with this one, and so I'll find a pet sit around that. So yeah,
Okay.
that's definitely how I've been doing it. But I do want to start more. I do want to start international pet sitting,
Mhm.
and I'll probably use that more as a vacation because Airbnb is a lot less expensive over there, depending on where you go. But you can really find some very reasonable long term Airbnb. So we'll see. That's the plan anyway. So
Okay. Okay. I commend you, full-time house sitters. Yeah. It's so much you
So,
can do with it. It's so much you can do.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, what kinds of pets have you done so far?
I I'm very particular about the house sits that I will
Hmm.
apply for and accept. I only house sit for homeowners that have small dogs, and the dog has to be a cute breed.
That was you. Somebody said that. Somebody said that in one of my interviews. They were like, "Yeah, I think you said you only do pet sits that are cute dolls." I'm like, I don't think I ever said that. It was
Yes,
you.
that was me. Because it's part of my, it's not a job for me. It's part of
Yeah.
my leisurely lifestyle. I mean, we didn't do like an intro of who I am and my background, but it's part of my leisurely lifestyle. And if I'm going to be in accommodations, it has to be beautiful accommodations where I'm comfortable, where
Hmm.
it's aligned with my standard of living, and it
Hmm.
has to be a
Absolutely.
house sit with responsibilities that I enjoy. And because
Yeah.
I was a pet owner myself, I had a Maltese for 16 years. I
Oh
love
wow.
small, cute dogs.
Yeah.
So I can love on your dog if it's small and it's cute.
I'm not even going to ask the questions that have been popping up in my head. I'm not going
Feel
to
free
ask.
to ask. I love
I'm
cute
not gonna
dogs.
ask. So, so now you work a full time job, or are you remote worker? Now, how does that work with you doing the pet sitting?
I do not. I do not. So let's rewind and do an intro. Okay. So I am the founder of Fabulous Financials, my financial coaching company. And I'm on YouTube, and I'm known on YouTube as your financial bestie. I
Okay.
retired early because I invest in the stock market. And the stock market literally changed my life. So once I achieved financial freedom, I walked away from my career and I no longer have to work. So in my free time, occasionally I will do YouTube videos, and I also help other women learn how to invest in the stock market so they can also achieve financial freedom to live whatever they love. So
Okay.
my time is my own. I no longer work for a company. I do have my own company, but my company is not a business that I run because I am full time. I want to make money. I did not create another job for myself. My
Mm-mm.
job, my job as a coach is part of my leisurely lifestyle. So travel is first. I'm a slow traveler. I love to slow travel all over the world, domestic and international. And I
Okay.
also coach as it's aligned with my lifestyle and something that I enjoy.
Okay. So for those of you out there listening, or in the future who will be listening,
Mhm.
and already know that, I want to do that. I want to do that. We will definitely be putting links to Coach Malika's website, YouTube channel, all of her social media contacts. We'll be putting them in the links to this video, so you can sign up with her lessons, follow her on YouTube and
Yeah, just
Facebook,
follow on
wherever else
YouTube.
she is. Wherever else she is, we will be putting the link down there so you can definitely connect with her.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so
So, short answer, no, I do not work. My time is my own. I pay for my living expenses by living on my assets.
okay. I assume you've been out of the country since you've been traveling so much. So where have you been international?
I have been to over 60 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been a traveler for a long time. I just
Wow.
recently resigned from my job just 2 years ago. So I've only
Oh
been
wow.
full time traveling for 2 years, but I've been a
Oh,
frequent traveler for over a decade.
okay.
Uh,
Okay. Is there any specific continent that you focus on, like mainly Africa or mainly Europe or mainly Asia, or you just go
I've
where?
been all over the world. My favorite countries, though, are in Asia. I
Okay.
absolutely love Indonesia, specifically
Okay.
Bali. In fact,
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say move abroad, but kind of like snowbirding, where
Mhm.
you leave a cold place and you go to a beautiful
Yeah,
warm place for a
so many
couple of months
months.
out of the
Mhm,
year.
mhm.
So I plan to go to Bali to spend the winter there this year and to bring in my
Okay.
milestone birthday.
Ah,
In but I absolutely love Indonesia. I love Thailand.
uh-huh.
In Europe, I love the UK. I love Spain. So I have some favorites, but I've been all over the world. Yeah. And my
All of
favorite
those
country in Africa
spots
is
that I
Cameroon.
wanna do is where?
Cameroon.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of those are spots that I wanna do pet sitting in to go and check them out and see
That's
if
a
I want
that's a
to
great
stay
idea.
there and live there. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
figure I could do like a month in each place or maybe 2 months in each place to really
Mhm.
give me a good idea of if that's someplace that I wanna stay longer or I'm not at the part yet where I wanna move out of the States. I just don't wanna be here.
Mhm. Just slow
So,
travel. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so
what I
that
do.
yeah,
I don't live abroad. I
that's
do have
exactly what I'm gonna
residency
do.
in other
Mhm.
countries, but I don't live abroad.
Yeah,
I'm in the
yeah.
United States right now, in fact.
Mhm,
I just slow travel. I like to
mhm.
explore
Yeah,
and then come back home when I'm ready.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I do this full time, so I gave up home base, car, everything.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
but I definitely want to be out of the US as much as possible.
Mhm.
I don't like the toxicity, I don't like the direction that things are going, and they just seem to be just getting worse and worse, and I just
Mhm.
yeah, can't.
Yeah.
Don't want to.
And that's
And
why
we
a
have
lot of
options, ladies. We have options. You don't have to stay here and take this crap.
yes, and
Watch
having the
the
financial
series.
freedom to do
Yeah,
so, it's also
yes.
important.
Well, I'll put a link also to Stephanie Perry. She talks a lot about that leaving the U.S. Stephanie Perry. What's the other? Our Black Utopia, Rashida. Uh, what's the other one? Picky Girl Travels the World. They all talk about moving out of the US or going on sabbaticals and just being gone for a few months just to get away from
Get away.
or
Yeah.
what is it? Tia Nikki in Merida. She's in Merida, Mexico. She says she's getting out of the US BS is what that's how that's how she
I lived
frames
in
it. And
Merida for
I said I like that, yeah.
I lived in Merida for 6 months. I was not a fan of it.
No,
No, Merida wasn't for me. It was too hot.
that's what she said. She said it was, she calls it it's some kind of taco chili that's exceptionally hot over there. She mentions that all the time about the heat.
Oh,
And
okay.
she
Yeah.
says she's had clients that have moved there and left and went back to the
Merida
States
is a different kind of hot.
mainly because of the heat. Yeah.
it's
So
it's real different.
well, yeah. So I
Mm.
still want to try it though. Check it out and see.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place to visit.
Hmm.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful place to visit. Yeah. And it's very safe for a solo traveler.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I definitely heard about that. So I was like, I want to check it out.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe for a month, maybe 2 months, just to see if I can stand the heat. Because I'd much rather have the heat than the cold. So for me, the heat is not a problem.
There is no
But,
cold in Merida.
right, but like you said, Merida's a different kind of heat.
It's a
So
different kind of heat.
I'd have to go down there and see. Because I mean, I've done Florida heat, I've done the desert
it's
heat,
it's
I've done
different.
the Arizona heat, I've done the Vegas heat.
It
But
can
they were like,
compare to
they
any heat
said
in
it's
the
different.
United
They said
States.
it's totally different from all
It's
of that.
different.
So I gotta go check it. I gotta go see because yeah,
Yeah,
give me the
check
heat.
it out.
Give me the heat any day.
I would love to
Any
hear
day.
what you think after you check it out.
I sure will. I'll definitely be in touch with that about that.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Mhm.
Okay, so you've traveled internationally all over. Have you done any pet sits internationally yet?
I love going to London during the summer, and I
Hmm.
stay in London for about a month. Uh, Pet sitting makes that possible and makes London more affordable. I
Hmm.
I prefer my strategy that I use for house sitting because I'm not full time is I like
Hmm.
to house sit in countries that are expensive because it
Okay, yeah,
saves
that
on
makes
the
sense.
accommodations, and then you
Yeah,
only have to budget for your food, right?
food.
And you have your flight to get there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So London. I also did a pet sit in Singapore. Singapore is also a very, very expensive
Hmm.
country. So that's kind of how I approach house sitting when I'm international. One of the other things that I have currently planned that's in a relatively expensive place. So I'm working on my domestic travel goal of visiting all 50 states
50
by
cents.
the age of 50, right?
Yeah.
And I'm up to state 49. Well, my last state is Alaska.
Oh,
Alaska is not cheap.
no.
Okay. So I
No.
will be house sitting in Alaska as well. So being strategic with how you house sit, it can make the world of difference in
Yeah.
your budget, in your
Yes.
expenses. So yeah.
Hmm.
But I house sit abroad and domestic.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, do you have a preference or do you see a big difference as far as pet sitting abroad as opposed to pet sitting here in the States? Do you see a difference as far as how you're treated, how the owners perceive you?
Um, I'm not treated any differently. Usually when I accept a house sit, it's because the owners and I, we have a good vibe, good connection. We've communicated. We've been on video chat.
Hmm.
We like each other. Very kind people. So my experience in terms of treatment has been consistent everywhere.
Hmm.
Um, the one thing I have noticed is abroad, people are more experienced with house sitting, the house sitting exchange. So it
Hmm.
seems to be more common abroad and
Hmm.
relatively new here in the United
Yeah.
States.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I also find that abroad, many of the homeowners have also been house sitters
Yes.
themselves.
Yeah, I see
So
that.
it does make the experience a little better because the homeowners understand both sides and they
Hmm.
understand what you need to be comfortable in their home. So the things they leave me or the things they share or just anything that they anticipate for my needs, I find it to
Hmm.
be a little better when I'm house sitting abroad because they have the experience of being a house sitter themselves.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And I've heard on and seen on some YouTube channels that some of the owners abroad expect you to be more like a housekeeper or maid service. Do you find that in any of your sitting experiences?
I have not. I I have not. I don't know if that is because of the type of house sits I choose. I'm very selective and very strategic. I
Hmm.
find that most of the house sits I do usually have housekeepers
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
already. So they're sending the housekeeper while I'm there, especially if it's a
Yeah.
long-term sit or the
Yeah.
if it's a short term, maybe a week or two, the house
Hmm.
sitter, the housekeeper has been there before I arrived.
Hmm.
And when we talk about what type of cleaning you want me to do, I may ask them, do you want me to strip the sheets off the bed? Do you want me to put the wet towels after I shower my last day in the
Hmm.
laundry? They may say no, as soon as you leave, the housekeeper is coming.
Hmm.
So um, I haven't had the experience in terms of someone expected me to be a housekeeper, so I can't
Yeah.
speak to that
Not doing that.
experience.
Not
No,
doing that. I
I'm
haven't had
not
that
doing
experience,
that.
but you're not doing that. But
It
I put that in my profile, okay? I will clean
mhm.
up after myself and Fifi, but I'm not the housekeeper.
Right. Now, I will leave
Yeah.
the house tidy no matter what.
Oh yeah,
At
absolutely.
minimum, I'm gonna give you back your house the way you gave it to me, but
Hmm.
most of the time, it's probably gonna be cleaner than the way you gave it to
Hmm.
me. But
Yeah.
there is no discussion about what type of cleaning I need to do. No,
Yeah.
this is not a job. You're not paying me. This is an exchange, a mutual exchange that involves mutual
Mhm.
respect.
Okay. Hold on just a second. I see I'm losing my light. Give me one quick
Okay.
minute. Fix that. Okay, there
Okay.
we go.
Yep.
There we
That's
go.
mhm.
Yeah, I make sure I do that too, especially with my single moms. I've been running into a lot of single moms, or if they're married, I'm noticing that the mom is more responsible with the kids, and the dad deals with with the pets. And so I will tidy up more, like really clean out the microwave, really clean off the oven, the fridge, and that kind of thing for the mom, just to give her something, to come home. Oh my God, and my kitchen is just so, yeah. But I mean, I'm not going crazy, but I'm not taking all the stuff out of the fridge. No, no, we're not doing all that. I'm
Cleaning
just
the
really
fridge and
wiping
cleaning the
them.
stove sound like housekeeping duties to me.
Well, no, no, no. When I say that, I mean just wiping up spots that I've noticed that are like have been there for a while. They're like, because for me, I can't cook and clean on something that's just ew.
And
So
I'm
I'm gonna
not
clean it.
I'm not
I'm gonna clean it
staying
anyway.
I'm
So
also not staying anywhere that's
yeah, but see, a lot of times you can't see that on the video. You can't always see that on the video. They can show you the kitchen, but you're not gonna see that little spot up under the burner. That, yeah.
Mm, I
Anyway, I
haven't
mean,
had that
I don't
experience.
have to do it often. I don't do
Mhm.
it often, but there have been like two sits that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fix this up for you. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, but when I do international, yeah, no, we're not doing none of that. We're not doing none of that. And this is just my first year, so I just finished a year with trusted house sitters.
Okay.
So I am also getting a lot more strategic and picky. I was picky anyway, but I'm really, really narrowing it down. Like you said, I want nicer houses. I want the house cleaners to come. If I'm going to be a hot place like Merida, we've got to have a pool or some kind of water that I
I
can get
I
in.
don't consider it
I'm
picky though. It's just your standards.
my
You
standard.
know,
Yeah,
when
well,
you're when you're
some
searching on
picky.
Airbnb, when you're searching for
People call it
accommodations
picky.
on Airbnb, you have
Mhm.
standards, right?
Standard, yeah, but
So you're
they call it picky. Oh, she's so
but you're
picky.
not picky.
She's so
You're
bougie. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you don't have to accept that criticism. You're not
Mm,
picky. You just have standards.
if that's what they want to call it, that's fine. I don't have to answer to them.
Exactly. And you don't
I
have
don't
to
have to
accept
answer to them.
that title
I
either.
like, I like what I like, so you can
Yeah,
think whatever you want.
absolutely.
That's how I
Absolutely.
feel about it. Yeah.
And that's correct. Yes.
So you have not done cats at all, have you? You think
I
you'll ever
no,
try to do a cat?
I'm allergic to cats. So no,
Okay.
I don't house sit with cat owners. No. I've done some no pet house sits where there were no pets at all. And I just
Okay.
needed to bring in the mail, allow the housekeeper in or the gardener, and water the plants, things like that. But only dogs or no pets at all.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I have a pet sit that I have to do in California in June, and they have a whole avocado farm.
I love avocado. That would be an amazing
Avocado,
set.
they were like,
Eat those fresh
they were like,
avocado.
help yourself to whatever. Da, 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 da. My first question is there anything I got to do with this? With this garden, that's a lot of responsibility. Is there anything
Mhm.
I need to do? They were like, no, no, no. We have a hired hand who takes care of all of that. Da 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 da. They have a
Right.
housekeeper, all of that. I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, okay,
Exactly.
yeah, I'll
They
do it.
just want their house occupied so people outside can see
Right,
lights coming on and off. The
right.
mail
Yep,
is not piling up.
yep.
You know, the
Mm-hmm.
trash can is going to the curb on trash
Yes,
day. So
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the basic duties that they would be doing if they were home. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
You're not having to do a whole lot of crazy extra. And if that's what they're asking, that's what the video conference is for, to get all that cleared up.
Mhm.
No, I'm just caring for your pet
The
and being
responsibility
here in
shouldn't
your
be
home
the responsibility should be in the
should be
listing.
in the, yeah, in the
And if
listing.
it's a responsibility that you're not willing to accept, you need to just keep scrolling.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, you
But,
should.
but yeah, I've seen some videos there where they said that some responsibilities were not in the description, and when they got there they got hit with, oh yeah, we need you to do this and do that. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, if you look at my new channel, look at some of the interviews I've done, you'll hear them talk about it in some of the interviews that I've done. I'm like, what? Yeah, no, no,
okay.
no.
Interesting. I
Hmm.
consider it a mutual, respectful,
Hmm.
mutual relationship. And that includes the responsibilities that are listed because that's what I understood when I applied. And
Hmm. And
then when
that's
you
what I'm
offered
agreeing
me
to.
the house sit, that's what I confirmed. So it
Hmm.
becomes a contract. I will adhere to the terms of the contract. When I arrive, if the terms are different,
Hmm.
that's if it's something significant, that that would raise concern for me.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a
Mm-hmm.
significant task that requires labor, that would be a no for me.
Mm-hmm. You know,
It needs to be listed in the responsibilities.
right. Yeah, I haven't had that experience yet, so
Look,
thank
I'm
God.
gonna knock on wood because I haven't had that
Yeah,
experience
I haven't
either.
had that, so I'm like, yeah, but
Yeah.
I've definitely been watching some YouTube videos, and they're like, yeah, they expected me to do this, and they asked, they leave, and they would ask if it was okay if I would do da 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 da. I'm like, oh no, 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 that's not
Like there have
cool.
been times where I have offered to do something that's not in the listing. Like for example, taking the trash can out on trash day. My most recent
Mhm,
house sit, I was walking the dog, and when I was coming back, I just so happened to notice that every house had a yellow can lined on the
mhm,
curb. And I went back and looked at the list of responsibilities. I thought I missed something, and there was also a piece of paper that was stuck on the refrigerator with the responsibilities and what happens on this day and that day. And I thought maybe I missed it and it wasn't there. So I just texted the
mhm,
homeowner. I said, hey, I noticed all of your neighbors have a yellow can on the curb. Would you like me to take yours out too? And they was like, oh, yes, thank you so much. I forgot. Do you mind? Of course I don't. Something minor
mhm.
like that. I'll offer to do it. But labor, if it's something significant, no,
Yeah, no,
no.
I agree. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Okay, so now you said you've gone to Europe quite a bit,
Yeah.
Asian countries quite a bit. Um, was the process to go over there, was that cumbersome? Was it pretty easy? Do you got to have a visa? Does it take a long time to get the visa? I know you have to have a passport. Uh, tell us a little bit about your experience with the actual travel days.
It's no different than traveling for vacation, right? House sitting doesn't impact, you know, your travel abroad,
Mhm.
but
Okay.
different
A lot of
countries
people,
have
well, I'm
different.
asking because a lot of people on this channel have not. Yeah, they haven't traveled abroad.
Oh,
They
okay,
barely,
okay.
they
That
barely traveled out of their state. So
okay, okay. That helps to
that's
reframe.
who I'm trying to talk to. Yeah.
That helps. That helps. Okay,
Mm.
so yes, when you're leaving the United States, unless you're going to another US territory, you have to have a passport, right? And the passport, you have to apply for it here in the United States. It's issued by the US State Department. Different countries have different requirements to enter their country. As a US citizen, our that little blue book, our passport, gives us
Mhm,
rights to enter a lot of countries without a visa,
mhm,
right? Most countries will allow you to enter for 30 days, some allow you 60 days, some 90 days, and some, like Mexico, for example, will allow up to 6 months. But every country is
it's
different.
different. Mhm.
Um, if you want to go to a country and stay longer than what your passport will allow, then you will have to apply for a visa.
Okay.
I've only had to apply for a visa in countries where I want to stay long term, whether I'm house sitting or not. House sitting is not related.
Right.
So I've applied for a visa in Mexico. I have residency in Mexico, right? I've applied for a visa in Indonesia. I'm about to get residency in Indonesia, and I will probably also apply for a visa once I meet the age requirements in Thailand. Every country is different. Every country has different requirements. Your passport allows a certain number of days. If you want to stay longer than what your passport allows, only then would you need to apply for a visa.
Okay. So you mentioned visa and then residency. So that's two different processes. When do you
Well,
have to?
the application process is very similar.
Uh-huh.
So your visa is different types of visas that you get from a country. It's basically the countries giving you permission to stay
Hmm.
beyond what your passport allows, right?
Okay.
Some countries allow residency for, let me back up. Some countries allow you to extend your tourist visa for another 30 days. So, for
Okay.
example, you go to Thailand. Thailand, you can enter with your passport and stay for 30 days. You can
Okay.
apply to get an extension. So, you have to apply to stay for another 30 days. After
Just with
60,
your passport.
just with your passport. But you have
Okay.
to apply. So it's the same as applying for a visa. You have to
Okay.
go to their um, government agency to apply to get permission to stay. If you stay beyond what your passport allows, you're going to be assessed a fine. And the
Okay.
fine is a daily fine. And the fine varies depending on the country. So,
Hmm.
with just your passport, a lot of countries will allow you to extend it for another 30 days, right?
Okay.
But if you want to
Okay.
stay long term, like 6 months, a year, or live there, you
Hmm.
also have to apply for that, and that will determine the level of visa that you're
Okay.
approved for, right? And all
Okay.
of them have different requirements in order to meet the qualifications for the visa, the level of the visa.
Okay.
Does that help?
That helps a lot. Yeah.
Okay,
That helps to
okay,
explain it about. Yeah. Yeah.
okay, okay. Um, but in
So you
terms of
have.
house sitting, I have never done a house sit that required me to apply for a visa. Usually the
Okay.
passport is just sufficient, right?
Okay.
I've applied for visas in countries where I've wanted to live.
Okay. 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 What? So what is the longest pet sit assignment you've done?
The longest I've done was, I think, about almost 3 months. It was the
Where was
sit.
that?
It was a sit in London. Yeah,
Okay.
that was almost 3 months. I'm actually not a fan of long house sits. I know that's a thing.
Mhm.
It's popular. That's what a lot of people aspire
Yeah.
to achieve. I'm not a fan of long house sits because
Yeah.
depending on the responsibilities, even if the dog is cute and I love it, just being responsible for another living being or responsible for someone else's belongings, their home,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's work. After a certain period of time, it starts to feel like work. And if I'm in a country where I'm planting my feet for a little while to live, I don't want to house it the whole time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to be free.
Yeah. Longest I've done was a month and a half, and that was my very first sit, but it was in California.
Mhm.
Two dogs. Like after 3 weeks, I started to get a little antsy. I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. What's next?
Right,
But
right.
I have ADHD, so that's normal for us. We get bored easily. I'm like, okay, I know not to do any house sits that are more than a month. A month
Yeah,
is about enough because after that, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do something else.
I'm ready to
I'm ready to go
go.
somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready to move around. The three
Hmm.
month
Yeah.
house
Yeah.
sit was relatively easy because the dog was easy. The dog didn't
Hmm.
require long walks. We would just walk around the building and go right back in the house. So
Hmm.
it was
Hmm.
relatively easy, and he can stay alone for up to, I think, like 7, 8 hours a day.
Okay.
Never made any mistakes in the house. So it was the most ideal situation for that length of time. But even still, I wouldn't do it again just
Hmm.
because feeling responsible for someone else for so long,
For that
it,
long. Hmm.
it feels like work. Yeah.
Hmm.
So 30 days is probably my max.
What's the shortest you've done?
The shortest I've done locally, like close to home, I've done like a weekend sit,
Okay.
right? International, it has to be at least 2 weeks for it to be worth my time.
Okay.
When I'm traveling abroad, I'm not buying a flight ticket to go abroad,
Yeah, all the way
and
over
I'm
there for
and I'm using
thousands of
house
whatever
sitting as
dollars for two
accommodations just
weeks.
for a couple of
Yeah.
days. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So
So now
a local sit, I'll do a weekend.
okay. So now when you go, let's say you go international, do a house sit for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Do you stay over there? Do you go to other countries, or you just do your 2 weeks and come back to your home
Oh
base?
no! Once I leave the country, I'm usually abroad and just slow traveling around for maybe 6 months at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
because I'm a slow traveler and I just hop around different places. When I get bored, like you said, I'm ready to go and see something else, do something else, live somewhere else. So
do
yeah.
you do any other house sits within that time, or you just do that one house sit and then the rest of the time you slow travel?
It really depends. I don't have like a hard, fast rule. So
Hmm.
let's say I'm traveling, like I'm getting ready to go abroad again soon, and I'm planning to be in Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Japan. So I
Okay.
will put alerts on the app to let me know when there's a house sit
Those
coming
places.
up. So
Okay.
I will go on the trip and book my own accommodations, but
Hmm.
the alerts are constantly coming. And if I see
Okay.
one that's in the next place where I'm going and it fits my criteria, I'll apply. Right.
Okay. I like that. Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
I already have something scheduled, like Airbnb, I'll cancel it. Or if I have a
Hmm.
hotel schedule, I'll cancel it. The things I usually book usually have cancellations, free
Yeah.
cancellation, or I just won't book too far in advance anyway.
Okay.
But my alerts are constantly set, and I'm always looking at it relatively quickly. So if it's something I really, really like, I'll
Hmm.
apply for it quickly, and I'll just go to that next place if I have a house sit, right?
Okay. Okay.
But if I don't,
Have
I'll
you
just book my own.
have you done a lot of house sits with no pets?
Not a lot. There are house sits with no pets, but when you
They go
search,
so
like the
fast.
number that comes up is a very small number
They go
compared to
fast.
the number of pet
Mhm.
type sits. I've
Yeah.
done maybe three.
Okay.
I've done maybe three. And in total, I've done 14 house sits, and only three of them have been
No,
no,
no pets. Okay.
no pet house sits. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
two were domestic here in the United States.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good
Yeah.
to know. Good to
Yeah.
know. Good to know. Yeah, I have alerts on for a couple of them, but they go so fast,
They
or
do.
either they're overlapping with the dates that I have already agreed to do another pet sit. So I'm like, dang, I
Yeah.
missed that. So
So
yeah.
now the way the app is set up, you can't even,
Yeah.
contact the
It
homeowner.
won't even, yeah, it won't even let you. I'm
They
like,
won't
okay, I'm
even
gonna
let
let her
you.
know that I'm available, or because some of them, like if they're longer pets, as I've seen a couple of them, if they're like long, couple of months, they'll let you pick, like if you can only do a month instead of the whole 3 months, or if you can just do a month and a half and not the whole, they'll even let you break it up like that. But like
Yeah.
you said, if you already booked for some, the app will not even let
They
you
won't
reach
even
out
let
to them.
you.
Like,
No, you can't
wow.
contact them at all. But
Yeah,
the
no, not
ones
at all.
that
They're
are
like, you're
available,
busy.
yeah, but the ones
You're
that are
busy.
available, the ones that you say go fast, what I would recommend is that you have like a template of your response for no pet house sits, and you have a template for your pet house sits. So when you
Mhm.
see that no pet house sit, you just grab your template, copy and paste, and just hit
Yeah, I
submit.
have that.
Yeah.
I have that.
You do.
But
Okay.
my problem that I've been running into lately is that they're overlapping with the dates that I already have. Because right now I am booked. I'm already booked all the way out till September.
Okay, because I thought I heard you say they go so fast.
Yeah, they do. That's what I'm saying. I'm finding that it's both. Either they're going fast,
Hmm.
or I'm already booked for the days that they want.
So how do you address the ones that go fast? That's what I
I
was.
did like you said. I definitely
Hmm.
have a template already set up.
Hmm.
I actually have it set up for no pets. I have one set up for dogs. I have one set up for cats because
Hmm.
I do different verbiage in there
Hmm.
to make it really personal for that particular pet that they have.
Hmm.
So
And
yeah, I got that
that's the
ready to go.
tip. That's the tip I was giving you. That takes too much time. So your template should be a template that's a canned template, and you just submit it immediately. So if there's any additional information that you need to include to
Mhm.
follow up, then because you're already one of the first
Oh,
five, then
I
you
see.
follow up with the second message,
Okay, gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
So have
Okay,
a template that you can just send immediately,
okay,
so it won't go fast, so you won't miss it. And then
gotcha.
once you're in, you can communicate with them as often as you need.
Okay, all right. That's a
Right?
good tip. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
that.
you're welcome.
Perfect. Yeah, I definitely need to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that'll
So
work.
craft the template with just a couple of sentences, that
Mhm.
introduction, right? And anything you need to tailor or revise, you can do that as the follow up message.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect. I like that. I
Yeah.
definitely like that.
Yeah.
See, now I'm really excited now because
Yes.
practice. like this, the last
Mhm.
sit that I have, like I said, that's up until September, is in Arizona. And what I'd
Okay.
like to do is start international travel from over there because I'll already be on the West Coast. I could
Yeah.
go to Mexico from there
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's right there. It's pretty
Mhm.
much right there. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Puerto Vallarta is a perfect
yes,
destination from the West Coast.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I
Uh-huh.
do have alerts on for Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
We
Awesome.
got that one, yes, definitely got that. Puerto
Awesome.
Vallarta, uh, Merida, Cozumel, Cancun, Guadalajara. I
Mhm.
have it on for all of them. I picked those because
Mhm.
I like the major cruise port
Oh.
cities because because cruising is my thing, but you can't always afford to cruise. At least I know I can't as much as I would like to.
Mhm.
But I like to be in the area. So, like if
Mhm.
I have a cat sit or no pets, I can go to the cruise port and just hang out at the cruise
Mhm.
port.
So you like cat sits? Yeah.
I do, and I don't. I'm like you. I was allergic, but I've learned to kind of work around that, so I can tolerate them for a while. I can't do it too long, but I have allergy medicines that I take with me. My contact with them, I can't have them like all up in my face and whatnot. I can have them on my lap for a while, but they can't just be all up in my face, and definitely not in my room.
Oh.
The room that I'm
What
sleeping, they
about
definitely
like the
cannot.
cat hair and the dander and stuff that's all around the house?
See, because that's for whatever reason, I guess I'm just picking the right pets, the right cats or whatever. I've never had a problem with that. But also the cats that I've done are both in and out. So a lot of times they're outside.
Oh.
So yeah, I've never had a problem with that. But if I
Okay.
start feeling my eyes itchy or sneezing too much, I immediately take my medicine, my
Mm.
allergy medicine. I immediately take it, and I keep taking it on a regular basis, like every 8 hours or whatever it says,
Mm.
to keep it at bay, or it'll just, it'll
See,
knock it out.
I just can't do that house sit then. If I got to do all that to be comfortable, I ain't taking no medicine. I'll just the house sit every day, every eight
It's
hours.
so much easier though. The cats are so much easier though. They
Okay.
just are. They just are.
Yeah, because they're
Especially when
self-sufficient.
they're out in indoor and outdoor
Yeah,
cats, they'll
yeah.
be out. Yeah, they'll be outside and gone all day.
I would be so
When they come
afraid of
back
what
in,
they're
pretty
gonna
much all
bring
they
back
want is
in
some
the
food.
house.
Where's my food, lady? Hmm.
I'll be so afraid of what
But
they're gonna
see,
bring back in the house.
the pet centers have gotten very sophisticated with that. These pets are, they're chipped, which
Okay.
means if anything else comes inside of that door, other than that cat, some kind of alarm goes off. But
Ah.
most of them, the little opening is only big enough for the cat.
And
Now, if they
something is
bring
holding in his mouth.
if they bring something like that, then yeah, that's an issue. But luckily, I've
See?
never had that. Luckily, I've never had that problem because that was my thing. I was like, well, what if they bring a mouse in here? Your baby bird.
I'm so paranoid.
Be outside. Be
I'm,
outside texting you. Hello.
I'm a scaredy cat. I'm a
Hi.
chicken.
I'll be outside. Hello. They be like, how
Look,
come the signal is funny? Because I'm outside. Your cat's
exactly.
inside with the mouse, and I'm outside.
That cat will be left by itself.
She gonna have a meal with that mouse and that bird because she's not getting nothing else
Bring back a
while it's in
snake
the
or
house.
something, girl. No.
Yes, yeah, I definitely have thought about that, but thank God, I have not run into that issue because that was my thing. I'm like, yeah, I tell them that too. I said, because they told me sometimes if they may bring in something, I said, well, I'm telling you now, I'll be calling you from outside the house to let you know
Mm-mm.
she's in there with the bird. She's gonna have to feed on that.
No, thank
She
you.
just got that's all she's getting to eat right now because I'm not going back in.
That does not sound like ease to me.
So I've never had the problem. So I've never had that problem. So
Oh, too funny,
it's
too
been easy.
funny.
And And even if they're indoor cats, then I don't have to worry about that at all. But again, they go do their own thing. They're not like all up on you. Like dogs need so much attention. They want attention. They're around you all the time. Cats are not like that.
I
Cats
have seen
go about
cats
their
that
business.
like to be in your lap and need attention and want to
Some
play and
of
all
them,
that kind of
some
stuff
of them do. Some of them do. You're right. Some of them do. But the ones that I have done,
too. Uh-huh.
they're very independent and they go about their business, or they're just really shy cats, so you barely see them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't do the ones that got to be all up in your face and yeah, and you're lapping, you know.
So what if you
Yeah,
do a house
that's
sit
the thing.
and it ends up being a cat that likes to be held and snuggled and played with? What will you do?
I can do that for a bit. So we'd have to, I can hold it for a little bit and then she's going to have to go and do her own thing and come back later. But to sit there and constantly do that, like I do with the puppy, I can hold him all day. I can hold the puppy all day long. But a cat, I just can't. I
Mm,
can't. And our self care it's important. So, and for me, I definitely try to practice that. So, and I'll also talk to the owners about that. That's one of the questions I ask them. Where does the pet sleep? Because a lot of these owners let the pet sleep with them. I said,
mm-hmm.
I can't sleep with a cat. I can't.
Yeah. Mm.
That I can't.
It's a very important question to ask. Even with the dogs, I'm not getting in the bed with the dog.
That I can't. Like so. Like if we're in the living room,
Uh,
that's an open enough area where I'm not really taking in that dandruff and whatever. I usually will sit in the kitchen area because they have the bar stools. Very seldom will the cat come and hang out in the kitchen unless there's food in there. The cats that I've dealt with, they'll
I've
be in
seen
the living room and on the
cats on
couch,
counters in the kitchen before.
up on the. I've seen that, but I don't apply for those. I'm like, that's nasty. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. You let the cat on the counter? No,
I'm just not a cat. I'm sorry. I'm just not a cat person.
then I'm not going to be comfortable putting my food or any of my stuff on there, just knowing that your pictures show the cat. No,
I just know that I
no.
couldn't be the best sitter for a cat, so I just steer clear
And
of
see
them.
that's important. That's important. You got to be comfortable. We don't
Yeah.
want to just be picking pets just because we want to go to that country or that's a beautiful house. You
Right.
want to be comfortable with the pet as well. Got to know our comfort levels and got to take care of ourselves. It's self care too. So
Mhm.
that should always continue no matter where you are. Definitely got to do your self care. Keep that up, and that means comfortable with the pet, comfortable in the home.
Mhm.
If you don't see enough pictures, because I've seen so many pictures, so many profiles where they have a picture of the outside of the house, and then all the rest of the pictures of the animal. No, no, I need to see your house. I need to see where I'm going to be living for that month, where I'm
Mhm.
going to be sleeping.
That's why that video call is so important, right?
Exactly. 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 And if they don't show you, it's okay to ask. Can
Mhm.
I see where I'm going to be sleeping? Can I see where the pet sleeps? It's okay to ask that. If they have a
Mhm.
problem with that, then I can't take the sick because I need to see that before I come.
Mhm. Mhm. And there have been some homeowners that offer you the sit without even wanting to call.
And I've
It's up
had that,
to
and I
you to
asked.
request the call
Yes,
before you
yes. You
confirm.
have to initiate that. Yep.
Yeah.
I've had quite a few of them do that because they were wanting to take a vacation, but they couldn't book their vacation until they booked a sitter.
Mhm.
So they were like, we're and usually those are like those last minute ones or low application because it'll say that
Mhm.
on their profiles, low application, last minute, something
Mhm.
new, whatever. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I've gotten a couple of them that are like that. So like yeah,
Yeah.
can I see your house? Can I see? Yeah, can I see the backyard?
Mhm.
Some people don't even think about that. Yeah, if
Mhm.
that dog is going to be in the backyard, yeah, I need to see the backyard because you expect me to be out there with the dog. Sometimes they don't want you to just let him out, or you at least got to go up there and scoop the poop.
Mhm.
I need to see
Yeah.
the backyard. If there's a bunch of lizards running around, forget it.
Yeah.
I saw,
You have to have your standards for sure.
yes, and I
Yeah.
saw one. I saw one. It was a gorgeous house, and I got to the last picture, and there was this monkey. I was like, oh no. They're like,
Whoops.
yeah, And it wasn't in the house, but because the outside was so open, they caught a picture of the monkey in their backyard, and it was close to the house. I was like, yeah, no.
What state was that?
That's I want to say it wasn't the state. It wasn't here. It was I want to say Costa Rica. It's either
Oh,
Costa
I
Rica
thought you
or
hadn't been abroad yet. You
no.
you haven't?
I
Oh,
have not.
oh,
I've
you
been
just looking.
holding. I have been holding my passport now for about 5. I
Okay.
did a video when I first got it. I was like, I got my passport. I'm doing
Yeah.
pants. I ain't been yet.
It's okay. It's coming.
I've
That's
been yet.
okay. It's coming.
I'm
That
not
is an
there yet.
exciting milestone when you first get your passport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with my anxiety and ADHD, all that goes through my head. I'm like, oh, that sounds fun and excited. But then the anxiety piece says, yeah, but what about that monkey? What about the iguanas that running around all over the place? What about the scorpions that they say that just come in the house and just yeah,
Those are
yeah.
valid,
I'm like,
things
oh,
to think about. I I love Bali, right? But in order for you to enjoy Bali, you have to learn how to coexist with nature. And that includes
how much
all.
nature are we talking? Okay, how much nature are we talking about?
Bali has a little bit of everything, especially if you are in certain area. Bali is the jungle. It's
See,
a,
we
a it's
got
a
to take Bali off the
tropical,
list.
right? Merida, Mexico. Any country that has a tropical environment,
Tropical.
right?
Hmm.
Anything that's
Hmm.
tropical is going to have nature. That's where nature lives, right? There have been times where I've woken up in Bali and there's been some type of weird critter I've never seen before stuck to the window. And I remember when I saw it, I thought it was inside the house, and I freaked out, and I was getting ready to throw throw something at it. Then some said, "Wait a minute, is that inside or outside?"
Oh my God, that's
It's all kinds of critters
funny.
in Bali. I love that place, but you have to coexist with nature. I I am not afraid of many things. I just don't like them. And I
Mm-mm.
don't want them on me, of course, right?
I don't want
But I'm
them in my
not,
space.
yeah, but I'm not afraid
No.
of I'm not afraid of too much.
Mm.
Like poisonous snake, of course. I
Yeah.
don't even want to see that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like
I think
monkey,
yeah. I think that's my thing. I don't like them.
yeah, just
I'm
don't
not.
like.
I'm not afraid. I just
Right.
don't like them, and I definitely don't want them too close to me.
Right.
I don't want
But
them in
you
my space. If I'm in the house, I don't want you in the house.
right.
Go outside. Stay
Right.
outside.
Some places you are the visitor. It is their
Right.
home.
That's I won't be going to those places.
Right. And there you'll miss out on so much. They're the most
I
beautiful
know. I know. I'm
people.
working on that. I'm working on that. But
Yeah.
the
Baby steps.
anxiety is
Baby
just through
steps.
the roof with that stuff. I'm like, oh, what
Yeah.
if I go
Yeah.
to sleep and then they'll be crawling on me, or they just over your head and just
Yeah. The little
yeah.
lizard things. I don't know.
Lizards, yes.
I don't know what they're called, but they're all over Mexico. So you named all those Mexican states. They're all
But see,
over Mexico.
the lizard thing wouldn't be a problem for me because they're all over Florida. So I don't like it, but it is what it is.
Okay.
So
Well, that's the
the
same thing.
lizard
You're
is
not gonna
the
like
lizard
it.
is okay.
Right. But it's the same thing then. If you don't like it, but you can still tolerate it, it's you'll adapt. You'll adapt.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'll
It'll
let
be
you know.
interesting.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know you gotta go. I know you got a busy schedule. So I definitely thank you so very much for taking the time out to speak with us. But before you go, is there any piece of advice that you would give to someone who is thinking about solo traveling or thinking about getting into pet sitting to give them that extra boost of confidence to just say, just get out there and try it. Just step out on faith and just do it. What would you say to them?
Yeah, for the solo traveler, the solo single female traveler, I would say start with baby steps, right? Start with baby steps and go to a country that will give you a soft landing. Whether that's a country that's close to home or a country where English is widely spoken, may not necessarily be the first language, but English is
Mhm.
widely spoken. A country where you don't have to adapt to a whole lot, so you're not getting information overload. Like the
Mhm.
country that comes to mind is Panama, for example. That's a
Mhm.
good first country for a
Okay.
female solo traveler because English is widely spoken. It's close to the United States. Their currency, they accept the US dollar. It's a unique culture, but because the United States was there for so long with the building of the Panama
Mhm.
Canal, it's
Mhm.
somewhat Americanized. So it's different, but not really. So it's a nice
Yes.
first introduction to
Okay.
international travel as a solo female traveler.
Okay.
So find a country that'll give you a nice soft landing for your first experience, and then you can advance and go further out from there. And the
Okay.
more you do it, the more your confidence will build, and you'll
Yes.
apply the lessons learned, and you'll be fine. Um, for someone that's new to pet sitting, what I would recommend is joining communities with other people who look like you that pet sit. There are lots and lots of larger pet sitting communities. But what I've found is that as a Black woman, we have different lived experiences and we have
Mhm.
different concerns than
Mhm.
other house sitters
Mhm.
and pet sitters have. So joining a community with other pet sitters, other house sitters that look like
Yeah.
you will not only have people that you can learn from, but you will also have a community of support and you'll
Mhm.
get advice on how to, land your first couple of sits, how to overcome some of the challenges that are just part of house sitting. Right? It's something that's different, something that's unique, and you can learn from the collective experiences of other people that look like
Mhm.
you. Right?
Yeah. One of those groups is Sistas Who Sit, which is
Yes.
run by Miss Diamond Crystal, who is
Yes.
also a travel agent. So I will
Yes.
put her link down in the description box as well.
Yes. And
So,
I'm an admin in that group as well.
okay, okay, perfect, perfect. So I'll put that link in the description box. Any of you who are even just thinking about pet sitting, but
Mhm.
not sure, still on the fence, join the
Join the
Facebook group,
community.
get
Yes,
the support. You'll get a lot of advice,
absolutely.
tips and tricks, and just definitely a very warm and welcoming group.
Yes.
So again, thank you, Miss Malika. We will definitely include all of your links in the description box as well, so people can reach out to you and start learning how to invest,
Yes.
trade, and all the other good stuff that you do on how to
Only
make money
investing.
without
Only
having to work.
investing.
See, only investing without having to work. You have to work a 9 to 5, no remote job, no global job, no none of that.
Only if you
And she can
want to.
travel if you want to. She can travel all over the world. She can travel anywhere. Single
Yes.
moms, that's a perfect thing for us. Perfect
Absolutely.
for us. It gives you
Yeah.
that extra money that you want or need to
Mhm.
do whatever it is that you want or need to do.
Mhm. And it
Perfect
helps to
way
fill
without
that
having to
gap.
get another job.
Helps to fill that gap in between house sits.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So then I can afford those nice Airbnbs that I like.
Exactly.
Or all-inclusive resorts that I really like, or my cruises that I love. Yeah.
All right, LaShawn.
Caribbean,
It has
Caribbean
been a
Caribbean.
pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your
You're welcome.
time.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye for now.
Bye.